Welcome to Spotlight on Stage, where we shine a light on theatre across Greater Manchester. Yes, I'm Michelle Eagleton. I'm here every Monday bringing you the latest What's On guide to shows coming to Manchester this week. And of course, I love a good old natter with one of the stars from the show or one of the people behind the scenes. And that's exactly what I'm kicking off with this week because I've been talking to Katie Tonkinson. Now, she is taking the lead as Raven in that wonderful rock musical, Bad Out of Hell. So if you love Meatloaf, Jim Steinman, then stay tuned because it is an absolute epic show. And it is here in Manchester at the Palace Theatre from the 24th of February until the 8th of March. And I got all the lowdown from lovely Katie.
So this is my second contract back. But the first one, we kind of ticked off loads of things in that. We did the tail end of the UK, we went to Germany, we did the arenas in Australia, New Zealand, which was, sort of one of those pinch me moments, like this is my job. And then we did the West End. And now I've come back, and I was playing Valkyrie then, and I covered Raven, but now come back and I obviously I'm playing Raven. So it's a completely different experience, but I just love the show. I will never get bored of the music, ever.
And to come back as Raven, having been the understudy for Raven, it must feel like, wow, this is kind of what you ultimately would want, isn't it? I mean, it's a cracking part.
Yeah, she's such a good sing. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Valkyrie's an amazing part in terms of you get kind of best of both worlds of you get to dance with the ensemble and you get sort of your standout moments. But I love being Raven. I think she's so cool. She's so feisty. The songs she gets to sing are just epic, and nothing beats it when you kind of get a really cool reaction from the audience doing these songs that everyone knows. It's amazing. Yeah.
And it must be like a bit of a family because, you've got Rob Fowler there who's been Falco. You've got Sharon Sexton who's been in it from the start as
Yeah.
well. They're husband and wife. And then you've got Glenn Adamson
Yeah.
back as Strat. So, I think there is a real love, isn't there, for the musical. Do you think that comes from the songs? Because they are so epic and iconic, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's kind of the madness of the whole show kind of draws you back in. I think, it's kind of actually said the other day, I get it. It's quite addictive. I could understand why people come back and watch it again and again and come back to listen to it. And yeah, I think there's multitude of things. It's definitely the music. It's the way the company makes you feel. We're really looked after well. We all have a really nice bond in terms of that kind of. It feels really quite community based. It is quite a family in that sense. Yeah, it feels like a real unit, and you can't help but think, oh, actually, maybe I would have a lovely time if I went back. So yes, absolutely, of course I will.
Absolutely. And, like you said, for audiences going to see it time and time again. For anybody who hasn't seen it, though, I mean, the story is kind of like a little bit crazy to get your head around at first. But I mean, it is about love and kind of conflict. Tell us in a nutshell, if you can, about what people can expect from that.
So you are right. Everything in it is about love in some way. But the main gist of it is a bit of Romeo Juliet, sort of with a bit of Peter Pan.
Yeah.
With all these incredible epic rock songs threaded through, and you have a real sense of kind of rock concert throughout. So yeah, if you can grasp a bit of Romeo Juliet, a bit of Peter Pan in there, and come for a rock concert.
And a great set. I
Oh, yeah.
absolutely love what they do and kind of with the video aspects as well. I
Yeah.
don't want to give too much away, but the
No.
visuals on it are really a feast for the eyes, I think.
Yeah, I think that's kind of one of those. It always loves pushing boundaries and things, and it's usually one of the first shows to kind of right. Let's break another barrier down. Let's do something that you don't do on stage, and let's do it. So they really lent into the kind of camera work, and the screens are so cool. I mean, yeah, I don't want to give too much away either, but they really sort of become part of the whole experience and really what the whole aesthetic looks like. It's kind of almost like a TV show at points mixed in with it. Like it's really cool. Yeah, it's
I
really different.
definitely feel like that, and it is
Mm.
such an experience watching it and getting that kind of feel and feeling a little bit immersed in
Mm-hmm.
what you're seeing on stage. I've got to go back to the songs though. Jim Steinman, Meatloaf. I mean, they're long songs and they are powerful songs.
Yeah.
What is that like to perform them? Because it literally, going from one to another, and is that challenging?
The stamina of having to, kind of get to the end of the show and have enough in the tank to do It's All Coming Back to Me Now, in like the last sort of 10 minutes. You think, keep enough in the tank, it's not a sprint, it's a real marathon in terms of learning to pace yourself and, like really not kind of burn yourself out in those first couple of numbers, because it's really easy, because it's so enjoyable, it is really easy to get carried away and kind of get overexcited and think, oh no, calm it down a little bit. Just kind
Yeah.
of
You gotta have that power for that note that's
yeah,
coming
you gotta
very,
get
very
there,
soon.
everyone's waiting.
And, talking about getting carried away, I saw you in Big Night of Musicals and that the crowd got carried away. It was fantastic to finish on you guys and this almost kind of mega mix of, Bat the musical. So, what was that like performing to the arena crowd? I know you've done arenas with the show, but I mean, it was electric.
It was honestly, like, and again, another pinch me moment. I think it was so cool. There's nothing more kind of electrifying and just exhilarating than 12,000 people screaming, and there's fire and there's confetti. Just think, this is wicked, guys.
Oh, great to chat to Katie there. And of course, you can catch her next week at the Palace Theatre in Bat Out of Hell, the musical. It's here from the 24th of February until the 8th of March. And don't forget, you can also catch her on BBC One at the big night of the musicals. I told you it was an epic performance, and you definitely don't want to miss that one. So keep your eyes peeled. I think that's coming to us in April. Now, let's take a look at what else is on at theatres across Greater Manchester this week. Well, staying with the Palace Theatre, Dear Evan Hansen comes to town from tomorrow and stays with us until Saturday, the 22nd of February. The Olivier, Tony, and Grammy Award winning Best Musical has a brand new production, and this is the first time that the show will tour the UK and Ireland. It has some incredible songs like You Will Be Found and Waving Through a Window, and it's all about Evan, an anxious high school kid who wants nothing more than to fit in. But the thing is, on his way to fitting in, he didn't tell the whole truth. Now, the word on the street is that tickets have sold out for all the shows that are in Manchester, but do check with the theatre directly because you never know if there may be some returns. Over at the Opera House, we are going opera-tastic with not just one, but three opera productions coming to us this week. Starting with Puccini's La Boheme. It's one of the most romantic operas ever written, and it tells a tragic tale of the doomed, consumptive Mimi and her love for a penniless writer. This is coming on Friday, the 21st of February. Following that, on the 22nd of February, also at the Opera House, is Madama Butterfly. One of the world's most popular operas, it tells a heartbreaking story of a beautiful young Japanese girl who falls in love with an American naval lieutenant. And finally, Sunday sees Ellen Kent's La Traviata. Based on a true story, it tells the passionate loves and life of the courtesan Violetta. So if you love your opera, you know where to head. Well, Larry has a feast for the eyes this week in the form of Ad Infinitum Last Rites. It's here from tomorrow, the 18th, until Wednesday, the 19th of February. And it really is an incredible visual storytelling. There is electrifying movement and an immersive soundscape as you travel from the UK to India. Let's take a look. Now, if you fancy something for the children, it is, of course, half term. We might want to keep them amused. Well, the little ones are going to enjoy this at the Lowry. Yes, we're celebrating Bing's birthday when Bing Live comes to town on Thursday, the 20th of February, all the way to Sunday, the 23rd of February. There'll be Bing and his friends Sula, Pando, Coco, Amma, and of course, Flop. You're all invited too if you want to go along, dress up, and have fun. There'll be lots of singing and joining in to celebrate the birthday in the theatre. Another great family production is over at home in Manchester this week, The Three Little Pigs. Now, this opens tomorrow, the 18th of February, and runs till Thursday, the 20th of February. Yes, enter the incredible world of Stuff and Nonsense, who make inspiring shows for families. And this time, it is the Three Little Pigs who have tricked the wolf onto a bus. If he catches them, he'll huff and he'll puff. And we all know how that ends. This is a brilliant mix of puppetry, creativity, which invokes a wonderful imagination in which adults and children can learn together. And staying with home, they've also got a powerful stage show on this week called This Kind of Black. It comes from poet and musician Rhys Williams. It's about growing up in Manchester's Moss Side in the 90s, a stone's throw from conflict and violence. It celebrates a community held together by prayers, warmth, and humour whilst mourning the tragic loss of young life. If you want to go and see this production, it opens tomorrow, the 18th of February in Theatre 2, and it runs until Saturday, the 22nd of February. Well, I was fortunate enough to see Shirley Valentine this week at the Octagon, and I would highly recommend it. The classic play by William Russell is reset by Mina Anwar, who is at the helm as Shirley. Yes, this is the first time it has been transported from Liverpool to Lancashire, and it really, really works. It's a one-woman comedy, and you will also be transported from Lancashire to sunny Greece. Do catch it if you can. It is running until the 8th of March. Now, you may have seen my interview with Lamin Touré a couple of weeks back. He is starring in one of the two Carol Churchill productions at the Royal Exchange. The shows have opened now, and let's take a look at the trailer to see what you can expect.
I'm walking down the street and there's a door in the fence open, and inside are three women I've seen before. So I go in. Escaped Alone and What If Only. Two short plays by Carol Churchill, from the 7th of February to the 9th of March.
Two Carol Churchill productions in one night. It doesn't get better than that. And if you want to see my interview with Lamin, then all you need to do is scroll back on the Isle of Manchester Theatre Facebook and you can find out more. In fact, you can also scroll back and check out my interview with Jake Quickenden, who is, of course, the star of Rita, Sue and Bob too. It opens tomorrow night and runs until the 22nd of February. You may have seen the film back in the 80s. Well, the play tells the story of Rita and Sue, two working class girls from a rundown council estate who are about to finish their final year at school. In their spare time, they earn money babysitting for married couple Bob and Michelle. But behind Michelle's back, Bob embarks on an affair with both Rita and Sue. Now, it is a cult, a classic, but it is also adults only. So if you are going, you have to be over 18. It is gritty, it is funny, and it is very, very raucous. If you want to catch any of the ones I've just mentioned, all you need to do is head to our website, ilovemanchester.com theatre. You can find out more there, and you can book those all important tickets. Now, I'll be back with more Spotlight on Stage next week, so do spread the word. I'm here every single Monday, and in the meantime, do give us a follow or drop us a comment just below. Have a great week until then, and I'll see you next Monday.